What's going on, everybody? It's episode 7 of the Daily Logs. It's September 8th, 2022. And wow, was today an eventful day. Very, very beautiful to see price play out exactly how I intended it to. So, I want to go over a few things. I mean, it's just such an amazing feeling when you predict price so perfectly and enter so perfectly. That doesn't, happen every single time, but it's very, very rewarding and a fulfilling feeling when you put in years and years of work and time and losses and lessons to finally get to this point. I may sound a little over happy, but it's just really cool, man. After 5 years of doing this, I'm really at that point now in my career where I'm starting to see that consistently profitable profits coming in. So guys, if you're there, if you're struggling, please keep going. I promise you it will get better. You will understand how to read these markets and how to forecast and how to consistently profit from these. But without further ado, I want to touch on the forecast from last night and what I was saying and what I was predicting and the reason why I was leaning towards a bullish bias. I hopefully put in the comments if you were able to profit off of. I mean, I didn't necessarily give a signal, but I definitely give you guys areas of interest to look at, and all those areas of interest got hit. So let's start with the daily time frame. I was first looking at obviously the bullish order block here. So I touched on yesterday how the bodies respected the opening of this daily bullish order block. And I also noted this. If you guys remember, I was annotating the bullish order block here. I was also touching on the equilibrium of that daily bullish order block. So I was saying to pay attention to that area right there, which basically got hit to a T, just a little bit underneath, but to me that will do. Going into the 4-hour time frame, we had this fair value gap here, right? So the reasoning behind this, right, because I stated yesterday I wanted to see 4017.9 be drawn into, and I was looking at this fair value gap. I was looking at this breaker and then this order block here as well. So it was kind of a combination of a lot of these things. We had a shift above market structure here. So that was indicating to us that price was bullish. We have the relative equal highs to target. So that's our draw on liquidity. That's the narrative for now until that liquidity is met. The narrative is we're looking for buy side to be rated, and then we're looking for PD arrays to basically align with that. So I believe another thing you could point out here, let me change this, was price digging into a discount relative from the swing low to the swing high. And then if you look at the breaker here, this last up close bullish candle here, we dug right into that. So it was just a beautiful day. It gets even better. I'll go ahead and go down to a 1-hour time frame. So using the bodies of the 4-hour bullish breaker, we can refine it on the 1-hour and just use the bodies here and beautifully tagged it. And notice yesterday I was saying I was looking for the 1-hour fair value gap to get traded into the discount low. And we went ahead and filled it in completely. We overshot it, but that's due to the breaker. But pay attention to the bodies of the candles, right? They closed inside of this fair value gap. So that's a really beautiful thing to see. This was coming into the opening of today's session. So if you go down to a 15-minute, we can look at this fair value gap down here, right? And that's relative from the swing low to the swing high here. So we're inside of a discount, right? We're bullish on the day. We have the buy side resting here, right? That's our overall target, 40.17. Okay, so I'm looking at on a 1 minute, 2 minute, and a 3 minute. I'll just kind of go through, I guess, my process. I have a monitor to my left and I have a monitor to my right, which is SMT, and then I have my main monitor. I'm not saying you need these things, but I'm describing this morning what I was doing. I had on my main monitor here the 15-minute fair value gap marked up, and on my left I had the 1 minute, and I was shuffling through the 2 and 3 and 4, because as soon as we hit this discount fair value gap, and this was also I was looking at switching to a 4-hour, looking at how I was respecting the breaker and the fair value gap here, and even again the daily, seeing where it's digging into, to build this bias and to build my confidence in, okay, what is the criteria for me to get into a trade. I'm looking at all these different variables and it's all adding up, right? So the next step, right, I have all these different things in place, all good signs. And again, this is another reason, I'm sorry, kind of shuffling around, but with ICT you can have so many different models and ways of entry. It's pretty cool to see how everybody today entered in on their own little criterias, because you could have, entered off of this breaker. That could have been your entry pattern, right? You're waiting for a discount, market structure shift, draw into a breaker, you're targeting equal highs. But for me, I like to see those type of areas get hit, and then you're looking at a 5 minute and lower time frames for this YouTube pattern to form. So looking at the 5 minute, as soon as we hit the 15-minute, I'm not entering here because I don't know for a fact that we're yet bullish. Okay, because if you look at like this fair value gap here, there's so many times I would enter in like here thinking that, okay, we're in a discount, took out sell side, and then I'm just bullish. But with the YouTube model, it helps you confirm that bullish or bearish bias. So after we had a displacement higher, we were shifting above these highs. So if you go down on like a maybe 2 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute, there's the high right here. So we displaced above it, bodies closed above this, and then we had our return back into the 5 minute fair value gap resting here. Okay, so I ended up placing my limit right here because I was extremely confident in the trade. I just had a feeling there's another reason why we didn't fully get into that fair value gap. If you look to the left of you, this is a breaker, right? So we had our displacement higher come back into the fair value gap, the breaker, and then if you do from swing low to swing high on the dealing range, we dug underneath a equilibrium and we dug into a discount. So that was a beautiful criteria for me. And then I actually took out right above here. So on a 5 minute time frame, these are relative equal highs. And for me, this is plenty enough movement and points for me to take out of the trade. That's just my personal liking. So if you go on my Twitter, I have the entry. I took this as a live trade. So I went ahead and targeted these. I took partials along the way. I took a partial here, and then I believe one more up here. And I moved stops to break even as soon as I saw this displacement lower. But all we were doing was running back into a 5 minute bullish order block. Let me make this green. Right, so we were just coming back into that. Didn't really fill in the fair value gap here, but the order block is right here. These two down close candles. I know it's getting a little bit messy, but it will all make sense. I want to go back a second here and touch on this. I believe on the 1 minute, I was talking about yesterday in bullish environments, you want to see swing lows taken out in a bullish environment before going higher. In a bearish environment, you want to see swing highs taken out before going lower. So in this scenario, we're looking for price to dig beneath the equilibrium here into a discount, and then you're trying to look for a PD array to align with that. So A on the 1 minute, that's a reclaimed fair value gap here. And then if you go out to a 5 minute, we're digging into that fair value gap here, right? So all beautiful things aligned, and then we shifted all the way above the buy side liquidity there. So I believe this is right about 30 points. I had my stop loss beneath this here. If we got a little violent, I would have maybe moved my stop underneath this low. But if we went beneath that, then it was invalid, right? So even here at 10 points, that's usually my normal risk. Went ahead and captured 3R. So it was a really beautiful day. I'm very happy to have taken that and participated in the move. I think it was fairly easy. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that took the same trade. So definitely let me know in the comments you took the same trade. And till tomorrow, I will talk to you guys. Good luck and good trading.